Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back with another video from Clyde, and today we're checking out, was Yammy the strongest Espada? So Yammy was number 10, but then Ulqiorra had his second release thing, blah blah blah, whoa, he's stronger than initially we thought, and then Yammy goes, ha, I'm number 10, but actually I'm number 0, and it's like, what? Kenpachi and, everyone fight him, and there's an interesting one, like, was he really the strongest though? Because Ulqiorra was something else, and you had the skeleton looking dude who I feel like could have taken him really when you look at his abilities. But let's see what quite does this say. So yeah, and I've not watched episode 1 yet of the Bleach anime. I'm really looking forward to it.
This video will contain a lot to do with Ulqiorra, Ichigo, and the other Espada.
There we go, I thought as much, yeah.
So you have been warned. I will be streaming the first episode of the Bleach War Arc on my Twitch when it drops in roughly 24 hours, so make sure you're there. It's linked below. Also, make sure you're subscribed to my second
I need to get a Disney Plus account. Because I am definitely going to be watching this.
Video, guys. I've covered the Espada pretty extensively on my channel, debunking Ulqiorra slander, discussing how I believe Stark is very misunderstood in the story, clarified how Baragun's powers
that's the one.
and much more. At this stage in time, thanks to a lot of my Bible-length breakdown videos, the scaling for the Espada has become so cut and dry for our community that frankly a toddler could understand it. However, there remains one specific Espada which I've yet to properly scale. Someone just as important as Baragun, Stark, and
definitely.
Yammy, Espada number 0. If you want me to keep covering topics like
which is sick.
Bleach, especially as the anime is coming closer.
It was cool to reveal. Ulqiorra and Yammy were interesting too.
And subscribe if you're a fan of Bleach. If this video reaches
like both left to look after everyone for a reason.
Off a secret Bleach video that I've been working on. It's actually ready to be uploaded too. Anyway, let's get into this. When Yammy appears in the world of the living with Ulqiorra in Bleach chapter 190, the state he is in is not only much weaker than when he later faces off with Chad, and Renji, but his ability to defend himself with spiritual pressure and use his pesquisa to react to attacks is quite bad.
It's terrible.
That he should have prepared correctly before coming to the world of the living with him, and notes that he can sense Ichigo's power spiking randomly so high that it's putting Ichigo's power above his own. Ulqiorra and Yammy were actually sent to the world of the living by Aizen to scout out how strong Ichigo had become, and were warned about 3 separate individuals that might actually give them a
It's interesting, why send the weakest guy there?
Aizen still sent them out there anyway, knowing that they could defend themselves. It's actually implied too that Yammy wasn't even meant to be there, but he just tagged along with Ulqiorra, and this would make sense as Ulqiorra is Aizen's most trusted subordinate, and it's stated that Yammy only follows Ulqiorra because he actually respects him, unlike the other Espada.
Well, he just doesn't get on with everyone else first.
The second release is another conversation entirely. The point is more so that this allows Ichigo to blitz Yammy and cut off his arm, but he is also having trouble holding back White during this battle. The databooks compliment that Yammy's hero is usually the second hardest passively. Defense and power in Bleach actually correlates to spiritual pressure, as established by Kenpachi and Aizen. So as he becomes stronger in the series, this increases too. It's still pretty impressive that he's actually listed as having the second hardest hero even at that point in the story, considering he is so much smaller and weaker at that point. Later on in the story, when he actually grows larger and has stored a lot of spiritual pressure away, he can simply just power up and block all attacks from Chad, Renji, and Rukia, and against Ichigo, his holified Getsuga Tensho only nicks him. Interesting note to consider too. First release Ulqiorra was able to shield himself from a fully charged, holified Getsuga Tensho aimed right at him. In fact, it's so much of a blatant feed for Ulqiorra that he states to Ichigo, go on, stand there, charge up your Getsuga Tensho and fire it at me. It's your most lethal attack. So Ichigo throws it at Ulqiorra, Ulqiorra stands there, and Getsuga Tensho can't even get past the spiritual pressure which surrounds Ulqiorra's body. This is actually a pretty underrated feat. Yammy in his resurrection, while facing half Shihakusho, heavy mask Ichigo that Rukia notes is acting off, and he actually is due to his mental state after fighting Ulqiorra. Yammy is smashed into the ground by a Getsuga Tensho, and has his skin cut by the Getsuga Tensho. Ichigo also manages to keep up with the 20 times normal speed Ballas, and this is actually a pretty good feat too, considering this Yammy is not only much stronger than in the past, but he's actually in his release form. Ichigo then only gets caught because, well, his mask messes up and then he gets grabbed. Before all of this, Yammy has a fight with Ulqiorra, and it's basically just Ulqiorra, showing curiosity to how Ballas work and messing around with Yammy, and uses a portable gear guide to the first one, so he can analyze the attack and what muscles Yami actually uses while firing it, which sort of makes sense, and I found this really interesting, was like, if you were to fire a Sero, you would probably either, point your finger in a super straight way, or you would, put your fist out, or when you do a bullet, you
do something to direct it.
Out in a very strong sort of way. So it does make sense that, Yami would actually be using certain muscles while he's firing it, but that was just a cool little detail that Kubo had Urahara actually convey in the story, and I like that a lot. Now, Urahara is probably the worst opponent for Yami, and I think he'd spank him before he ever becomes too strong or a threat with his rage ability, though I have to give credit where credit is due, because before this, Yami almost killed Yoruichi with a point-blank Sero, which Urahara blocked for her. The data books even implied death was pretty much imminent from this attack.
Damn, alright, okay, Jesus.
By punching Yami, she injured herself quite badly. So badly that Urahara invented anti-Hiedo armor, which she then uses against Aizen in the Karakura town.
Oh, right, sick, yeah.
Now, contrary to popular belief, this armor was not actually designed to combat Aizen, as no one knew that he would attain these weird forms like the Silver Surface State. So, again, this was made as a direct response to the Yami and Ulqiorra
Right,
encounter.
sick, yeah.
This is also hence why the armor didn't actually work against Aizen and was
makes sense.
blown away. Before I dive into the main part of this video, I just want to go over a few notes that interested me about Yami and the overall ranking of the Espada. It's actually stated that Yami only followed Ulqiorra because he respected him and wasn't interested in the other Espada. Yami is stated to have actually felt pain when Ulqiorra passed, stating he didn't expect Ulqiorra to die first. This might also prove his statement about being above Ulqiorra is cocky, braggadocious rhetoric, and there is more evidence to back that up, and that's the fact that he doesn't actually know about Ulqiorra's second release, and Ulqiorra's best advice, I haven't even told
so no one knew.
So he makes that very clear that, the one person who he sees as the top of the top, he hasn't even told him. So why would he tell Yami? I also add that Yami's no doubt speaking this way because, well, Ulqiorra is dead at this point in the story, and that's when it's stated. And before this, he neither spoke ill of Ulqiorra or disrespected his orders. He always listened to Ulqiorra. In fact, if you notice their dynamic, Yami would always ask Ulqiorra for approval to do things. Even though Ichigo isn't in his Vasto Lorde form, Ichigo does, however, state that he thinks it should take himself, Kenpachi, and Byakuya to defeat Yami in his first release. Some people think that Ichigo here scales to transcendent characters in battle, but I genuinely do not believe he has gained this much of an increase in power after beating Ulqiorra. That would imply he has gained an increase in power to his Bankai and holification that is 100 times his power when he first faced off against Ulqiorra in the tower, because each Resurrection over Ulqiorra's is times 10 his base, and possibly higher with the second release, because we don't have any way to gauge how much of an increase it is. All we know is that that form is not only one of a kind, but it's just, you guys seen how Uryu reacted to it. He was blown away, and he's seen some of the captains transform in the Soul Society. Here's an example. Uryu fought in the Soul Society against Mayuri, and he fought against his Bankai. He fought against him at full power. He almost killed Mayuri. In fact, that's what Nemu thought was going to happen. She thought that Uryu
was going to kill him,
head so that he wouldn't kill him, and whatever. The point is more so he's fought against a character like Mayuri, who in the war arc has a one-on-one fight with Ponaida with the assistance of Nemu, but he actually states in his fight that his power never increased. He only made adjustments to his gadgets and sword and other stuff. So in general feats, when it comes to speed and strength and all that, it's pretty crazy to think that you could probably scale second release Ulqiorra, who obviously scales above Mayuri thanks to Mr. Uryu. Uryu states that the spiritual pressure above him feels like an ocean of spiritual pressure, and that it feels alien to him, which implies it's something he's never sensed before.
No, it's completely out there that he's never experienced.
Obviously, he's saying, yo, I haven't sensed something this strong before, this is crazy. Now anyway, let's run through a few things I said about Ichigo just before. So his holification did not scale anywhere near even the first form of Ulqiorra. Vasto Lorde, or White, was actually needed to defeat Ulqiorra, and that increase is much higher than 2 forms of Ulqiorra, because Ulqiorra's second release, let's say it's 100 times
so good, so sick, such a good design.
Gets so much of an increase, right, that it actually puts him from holification level above the first release, then above the second release,
and then above second,
that Ulqiorra can't keep up with his speed or actually harm him. So that is, that's a pretty big increase. So with White actually becoming the king in the battle and taking over Ichigo, I think that due to this transformation, White actually broke the badge's limiter. By having the badge actually overpowered or broken by White, as the sketches seem to imply, it pretty much gave Ichigo the ability to sense threats like Aizen, unlike Yoruichi, Urahara, and Ishin, they couldn't sense Aizen at all, but Ichigo could, because he's like, whoa, like, that monstrous spiritual pressure that he has, like, you want to fight that? There's no way we can beat him.
Get away from
Ishin's
that.
like, wait a minute,
Jesus Christ.
sense that guy? Like, so that's clearly shown. Because White took over and, overpowered the badge, well, now Ichigo has the ability to sense threats of Aizen, who's transcended. Now, you might be thinking, Clyde, why are you wasting your time explaining this? A lot of this should be common sense, and yeah, it should, but you'd actually be surprised how many people think that the Ichigo that appears against Gin, well, they think that he can take down Ulqiorra in a one-on-one fight. Like, they legit think that Bonkai and Holification Ichigo was going to walk up to second release Ulqiorra and be like, Getsuga Tensho and cut through his lungs and uppercut Pargo and just, like, slash him in half like the Baso Lorde did. Like, that's actually, like, that's a thing that people legit think has happened because he can now sense Aizen. Like, all that I can see from this is that because of White taking over and getting rid of the badge, it's now given Ichigo the ability to sense people like Aizen, because we know that Ichigo's potential is very damn high, but it doesn't mean he has that power to compete with someone like Aizen at that stage, and this is proven by two things. One, base Aizen he absolutely shits on Ichigo. Like,
he definitely does. Jesus Christ, Aizen's something else.
Very similar to like when he fought first release Ulqiorra, and Aizen just taps on his chest and he's like, I could kill you if I wanted to. That's how strong I am to you. Like, I'm so fast right now that you thought I was using Kyoko Soigetsu. Ichigo is in no way near that power, and to back that up, Unohana says word for word when she's with Ichigo in the Garganta that, your spiritual pressure isn't actually that far off of the captain's. We're pretty comparable. Now, we know Unohana's actually secretly really strong, but
she does something else when she trains Kenpachi up to, like, she keeps killing him.
Which it still doesn't make
bringing him back. Killing him, bringing him back.
However, it still does place Ichigo in that captain to high captain tier, which again would by default not put him above Ulqiorra. So there you go. Now, I know that Unohana's scene is really weird because it's like, why is she bluffing even though she's talking to herself in her head, so there's no reason for her to lie to herself when she's like, oh my god, Ichigo's really strong, but it's like, hang on, he's not stronger than you when you're in full power though. So I don't know, that whole scene there is just indicative that I feel like Kubo probably decided to change Unohana's backstory later on, but some people would disagree on that. Anyway, not relevant to the video, I just wanted to clarify this because by putting it into this video, I can hopefully get this information out to other people, because there's a lot of misinformation that gets spread in this community by people that genuinely don't know much about Bleach. Like, I don't mean to be rude, it's just true. Like, it actually blows my mind how they interpret the series. It feels like they're reading an entirely different manga to me. It makes Bleach scaling genuinely retarded if that's actually the case. Aizen left Los Noches under Ulqiorra's control, and most likely left Yammy there for a potential Kenpachi showdown. He did not summon Yammy or Ulqiorra
there for a reason.
The living with Gin and Tosin, and planned for Ichigo to fight Grimmjow and Ulqiorra to develop his powers further, along with obviously every other battle prior to this, as confirmed by Aizen when he speaks to Ichigo, which when it comes to Ichigo's powers, he was closely monitoring since everything but the rain via White. Yammy claims his number 0 is known, and that's how the Espada are actually ranked. Boasting that the Shinigami in chat is silly for assuming it's 1 to 10, as opposed to 0 to 9. Whether or not this is common knowledge to all Espada is interesting, because if Aizen told them all that that's how the official rankings go, it means that Yammy is by default the strongest on a linear scale. But if only Yammy was told, that kind of means he's special to Aizen. Like, he gave him a power-up on the slide that no one else told him. It's like, hey, Aizen does not waste his time with things that he does not find interesting.
Yeah, like, he straight up kills these guys, like, when he's done with them,
Espada, but has a fascination with Ichigo's powers, and specifically his battle with Ulqiorra, which he speaks about in a pleased manner, along with his anti-Kenpachi contingency plan involving Yammy. Keep in mind, Unohana was also trapped in Hueco Mundo, which might mean he had plans to have the both of them fight against Mr. Yammy, and because of Yammy's power, this would be perfect. Speaking of Ulqiorra, this is relevant to if Yammy truly is the strongest. Ulqiorra claims his second release is a secret held from even Aizen. Ulqiorra's number completely vanishes from his body when he transforms, meaning he has surpassed Yammy's second release. His number does not vanish, regardless of an increase in power. Yammy is actually so strong that Mayuri is curious about dissecting him. Hollows are way more common to find than Quincy are, and yet he was interested in dissecting Yammy over initially meeting Uryu. When it was said Quincy were almost wiped out entirely, which means that Uryu would be, one of the last remaining.
Yeah, like, come on.
Along with this, Mayuri makes a joke that Yammy could potentially get larger, adding to the rage power-up ability he has, and, Yammy confirms that,
Ulqiorra's number completely disappeared.
And this actually goes back to what Baragon talked about, where he explains that the aspects of death also affect their true powers. Usually a lot of Bleach fans think that the aspects of death are just purely a title attached to their name, like, Ulqiorra is meant to be a nihilistic character, Noyatora is meant to be despair, Grimjar is meant to be destruction, but Baragon actually states that these aspects of death actually give uniqueness to each Espada, regardless of whether or not they're ranked above or below each other. And this would explain why Grimjar seems so much stronger than just the rank of 6, and Baragon's aspect of death correlates directly with his own power of aging. If you actually look at when Grimjar fights Shinji, Shinji states that he is actually taking Grimjar seriously and that he's going to hold back nothing with his holified Zero that he fires at Grimjar. And keep this in mind too, when he is fighting Grimjar, Grimjar has one arm. He just finished being hurt by Ichigo.
Yeah.
And he can still fire a Zero back at Shinji, block that Zero, survive the attack, right? Also keep up with Shinji in the battle, and then he's about to use his Resurrection to take him seriously. I don't believe that Shinji is a good opponent for Grimjar, in the sense that if he uses his inverted world ability, there's no way that Grimjar's going to beat this. He's just not the kind of character that would work well against this. But when it comes to actual power and speed, a lot of people really sleep on Grimjar. I feel like he truly is a lot stronger than just the rank of 6. And
mate, Grimjar's up there now.
But it's just more and more evidence to go towards what I was arguing before, and that's that, yeah, the aspects of death sort of do seem to give certain Espada very unique characteristics in battle. You've also got to consider, well, yeah, Grimjar kind of does fight Ichigo a lot, and
yeah, he does.
Is
like, he loves it. He loves it.
So it does make sense what I'm spitting here. Anyway, Yammy, pretty much like the elephant Fruction man, who I don't remember what his name is because I don't really care, seems to be quite slow with his size, just like him, and because
he is very slow. My god, when he becomes Zero, he's humongous, and he can't maneuver very well at all.
Not only block, but blitz and one-shot with seriously ease. Even still though, his passive Hierro did injure Yoruichi and gave Kenpachi and Byakuya trouble. Kenpachi claims it was a boring fight, but actually took damage, and this is evident by their clothing after the fight.
Yeah, they're torn up and there's blood.
So it's kind of contradictory to be like, oh yeah, the fight was boring, but I feel like it's just a post-fight cocky attitude from Kenpachi, when in truth their off-screen fight probably was pretty good, and Mayuri kept stressing that they need to hurry up and finish the fight because, Yami's going to get too big and it's going to be a problem to dissect and so on and so forth. Some tried to overhype Yammy to a super high degree due to him fighting Kenpachi. However, Unohana states that Kenpachi should have never had trouble with any of his previous opponents, so there's no indication Kenpachi ever tapped into his true power during this battle. Now, this should really go without saying, but this tends to be a pretty common argument that I see from Noyatora and Yammy fans, where on the Noyatora side they say, oh, well, Noyatora did better against Kenpachi, so he clearly scales above Yammy, and then on the other side they'll say, oh, well, Yammy fought against a stronger Kenpachi, so clearly he's fighting against full power Kenpachi, right? And it's like, no, because Kenpachi never taps into his actual true potential power anywhere in the story until the War Arc, and Unohana does stress that
the War Arc, I can't wait to see that.
Previous opponents whatsoever, so I just want
to take down this media.
Really have some silly, weird arguments. It's kind of like the Kakazu and Pain type stuff in Naruto, but that's a whole different animal to deal with, but you know what I mean. I mean, it even goes so far that some people will say, oh, well, Noyatori's got the hardest hero, and it's confirmed by his word of mouth, so I mean, clearly he has the, the best durability of all the Espada, and he can tank any attack that the other Espada have been hit by, or, they're thrown at each other and stuff like that. And then my reply is like, alright, so, why did Nell blitz and cut Noyatori when she wasn't even at full power and she was in her base form? I want to say one more time, there is zero indication that Kenpachi ever tapped into his true power in either of those two battles. Any argument of this would be pure headcanon. An actual consistent argument that you can make for the level of power that Yammy was probably facing in the battle against Kenpachi is that he was probably facing Kenpachi at the passive level of two-handed Kenpachi, because as each battle would go by with Kenpachi, he would slowly get further and further back to his original state of power, and this was shown. He was getting stronger as each battle went on. It's like, oh, he went from below Captain Ichigo with a power-up from Zongetsu versus Noyatora. That's a pretty big leap in power. And then he's fighting people in the Fullbring arc that are meant to be pretty strong and so on, and he's fighting Vasto Lordes in the novels, which, I'm only giving credit here to the novels because it's showing further consistency that, Kenpachi's going up in power on a linear scale and getting
slowly progressing.
As the battle goes on, and he fights stronger opponents, so he has to, up the scale with his power. He can actually stop limiting himself, etc. This would make sense why, although he has his eye patch on, he is still keeping up with the number 0 Espada. It means that his normal level of power now is always at that level.
So the base is
So
higher.
It makes sense. Plus, he was actually healed, so Bleach characters do get Zenkai boosts and become stronger after each battle. This is a pretty commonly known thing in the series.
Zenkai
This
boosts.
actually isn't a bad thing for Yammy
So-
either. What it shows is that, well, Yammy in his first release, and then obviously his second, he's keeping up with Kenpachi, who every strike has the power of the Kendo strike that he used to finish off Ulqiorra. And that strike pretty much, like, it went from their sort of base forms being somewhat
use
relatively
two hands
weak
now.
to, then he goes release form and he's shitting on Kenpachi, and then Kenpachi's like, and then he hits him like he's a fly on the wall, so pretty good for Yammy. You got to consider that Kenpachi potentially tapping into his full power. It's the thing that Aizen was anticipating during his contingency plans, and it would make sense that
He was quite worried.
The whole being,
I wouldn't say he was like scared.
Yami in Hueco Mundo, and Yami, whose aspect of death
He just wants things to go smooth.
was secretly the number 0, plus can seemingly not only get larger with the range, as noted by Chad himself and Mayuri, but also stronger. You've also got to keep in mind that Aizen was so in-depth about his planning when it comes to all of his contingency plans and all the things he was going to do for this entire war with the Shinigami, that when he created Wonderwise, which its whole purpose, right, Wonderwise's whole purpose was set just to steal Yamamoto's Ryujin Jaga. Aizen does something that a lot of people don't pay attention to. Now, some people think that him removing Wonderwise's speech, his memory, and every other sort of cognitive function was done out of evilness, like he's just trying
Just
to make
messed up, right, yeah.
His only purpose was to be a drone which was just sent in there to take out Yamamoto and his
Balls.
abilities.
Okay, go on.
That. But this is what he does. He removes all of these cognitive functions from Wonderwise because he wants to make sure that Wonderwise is absolutely as strong as possible by focusing all of the Hogyoku's ability onto his physical attributes and ability to seal Yamamoto's Ryujin Jaga.
Right.
That's what he actually was trying to do. If you remember in the Ulqiorra fight against the Master Lord, Ulqiorra states that if you sacrifice certain parts of yourself, it can amplify your true power.
Oh, wow,
Some of
okay,
the
right.
Espada discarded their ability to heal to gain strength. Ulqiorra was so powerful, and this is crazy with him, is that he actually dedicated some of his power to regeneration, whereas he could have actually gotten rid of some of the regeneration ability and became even
Oh,
stronger.
damn.
We haven't even seen full power second release Ulqiorra. That's crazy to think. Now,
That is
as
crazy
the
to think.
Wonderwise,
Jesus
Aizen
Christ.
was really in depth about all of his planning. So, Wonderwise, trapping half of the Shinigami in Hueco Mundo, Yami, Ulqiorra having multiple release forms, even if Ulqiorra claims he doesn't know, chances are he probably did that on purpose.
Alright.
So it goes with Yami's second form. And the rankings in general having, a secret rank of 0 to 9. Just some things to consider that I really wanted to add into this video because it's pretty important. A lot of people don't talk about this stuff. Unlike Ulqiorra, Yami does not make the others located below the canopy of Lost Noches react the same way to his power and does not cover the entire battlefield with alien-esque heavy spiritual pressure, which is compared to an ocean above the sky. His only form of healing too seems to come from his transformations, whereas Ulqiorra and Ulqiorra can heal at will. A lot of people actually argue as to whether or not Yami's final form is actually a resurrection, but does it truly matter at the end of the day? Because it's clearly a new form and he gets a huge power up when he goes
Like
into
massive,
it. If you
yeah.
want to call it something else, I mean, it still works the same way, so it's whatever really, isn't it? It's like it's a transformation, he gets stronger. What's the difference? There aren't a lot of things to really say about Yami, other than he has the potential to be one of the most dangerous Espada with time, due to him essentially being Bleach's Incredible Hulk, and some people might say that's Kenpachi, but in truth it should be Yami, because, his power is rage, just like, Hulk, so...
Yeah, like,
it is
the
what it is, but
anger
if the
gives
battle
him
doesn't go for a long
power.
time, he simply gets blitzed by the likes of Stark, Baragon, maybe Resurrection, Harleybell, and most definitely Ulqiorra, who keeps him in check and knows about how his form works and his first release, which requires Yami to eat and rest to perform a full release. The only Espada who needs to do this. So how does he actually match up against Stark, Baragon, and Ulqiorra? Well, I don't really think that Harleybell is a good matchup for Yami, like I sort of hinted at before. I think that the problem would be she'd just eventually get overpowered and just one-shot. I can see her dying in a really brutal way to Yami, so I'd probably say the perfect scenario for her would have to be that she starts off in Resurrection and goes all out against Yami, cuts off some limbs, and then beheads him, but I don't even know if she'd really be able to do that.
I don't think
Yami
so.
gets
Like,
angry all through the battle, he probably would
speed-wise, though, maybe. Because he's
how
very
I would
slow.
and I believe Stark blitzes him as he's considerably faster than Yami, and if he's in Resurrection, he can potentially atomize him with Zero bullets pretty quickly. His speed scales directly to Shunsui, And we know how far Shun's
Yeah, Yammy ain't moving out of the way of that. Jesus Christ.
He likes how good his flash step has gotten. But Stark does downplay his own power by claiming holified visors could tank his attacks and were actually strong. These are his words, not mine. Think about this as an example, okay, just to sort of put it into perspective. Only one first release Zero from Ulqiorra pretty much almost killed holified Ichigo, and this was Ichigo while he's facing Ulqiorra. He's not getting hit off guard, it's completely, he's got his composure, his sword's ready. I actually think, if I'm not mistaken, Ulqiorra actually describes to Ichigo, he's doing this whole monologue thing where he's like, gain your composure, get in your stance, be prepared, and then he's like, settle, and then he just like deletes him, And then when
Deletes
it
him,
comes to
love it.
strongest attacks, which uses a different form of energy, it actually appears as a blue flame. These attacks, grabbing onto visors and biting them and then exploding on them, like, perfectly point blank, they couldn't take out visors who were intimidated by the deformed version of white. And they get hit by these attacks more than once, along with Shunsui being shot directly in the back by a Zero gun, and even he survives it. In fact, he actually survives the attack so well that Lisa comes over to Shunsui when he's on the ground, and she's like, why are you playing dead? And what makes it even more weird is that this is Shunsui after he, got angry and tried to avenge Ukitake. Like, his character is he's a rat. I like Shunsui, but he's actually a rat. Now, when it comes to second form, Yammy matching up with Stark, I believe that he should be able to tank every attack from Stark, so
damn,
that's
alright.
pretty much his win condition. What's going to happen is that he's going to get so angry and so large that there will be no way, especially with the linear scale of the Espada being 0 to 9,
Okay.
that Stark can harm Yammy at this stage, because his spiritual pressure is going to get too high, so his defense is going to be even better. Even if he
Damn.
can control his defense properly, it'll passively get to a level where he can't be harmed. His Zeros are going to have more firepower than Stark's, and the only downside is just going to be his speed, but it's like, listen, eventually if he lands one blow on Stark, he's going to kill him, so that's just how that fight's going to go. There will become a stage where Yammy will be so angry that he will just keep either transforming or just getting too strong and he's going to wipe
Damn,
out.
alright, cool.
So I want to say once more, to give Stark some credit, he should be able to blitz and atomize base form Yammy, first release Yammy, and then again second release it's going to come down to the fact that he just won't be able to injure Yammy. That's just the truth.
Right, okay, so second release he just got no chance, right?
Now, when it comes to Baragon will definitely be able to kill Yammy if the fight takes too long for him to get stronger than Baragon.
Because of his,
once his spiritual pressure becomes too strong, the Respira will
the way his technique works where he decays.
If you want a further explanation on Baragon, please watch my video on him along with my video that
great.
I made on Stark. The Stark video is like 50-something minutes, so if you want like a big juicy documentary,
Yeah, that's a good one as well, though.
there you go. I worked really hard on that video. It took me around like 2 weeks to edit that thing, so please go check out those videos. I actually work really hard on my long bleach videos. And when it comes to Ulqiorra versus Yammy, well, Ulqiorra narratively keeps him in line. Doesn't seem to fear his first release or the requirements to go into his release form because he actually knows about it. He seems to imply something like, Yammy, you can be pretty annoying when you're in that state, but it's not like a fearful thing. It's just more of a, hey, Yammy, be careful.
Just call it down, mate, yeah.
Also has better feats than his first release anyway, and has a hidden form that is so strong his number vanishes from his body. These number seals were also clearly designed by Eisen, so the fact that he can actually remove it is pretty interesting when you think
Yeah.
about it. Because even when Nell was AFK from combat for a really long time, her number never vanished. It actually just stayed on her body, so maybe there's an argument there. I remember James Hansen pointed that out to me years ago, and I was like, well, that's actually pretty interesting, because if it was just a design choice, I understand the number would make Ulqiorra's second form look ugly, but you do need to keep in mind the number did vanish, so
yeah. No one else is
did.
did.
From a 10 to a 0 when he powered up to a certain level, so there probably is a connection when it comes to power and those seals. Ulqiorra's speed, healing, and defense at the beginning of the battle also far surpass Yammy. Ulqiorra fights against White. Yammy fights Byakuya, who was having trouble with Zormari and has nothing to indicate he solo scales to Yammy. Now, granted, Byakuya did have to protect Rukia and Hanataro, but the point
Yeah,
is
it does look going on,
that's
but
the caliber of character which Kubo was saying, okay, he's meant to be fighting a guy like him, who, yes, I know, Zormari's pretty, OP for the fact that his ability is very hacks, and he has one of the
it's a weird one.
base Espada Sonitos, that's cool. But this is what the author is conveying through the scaling of the story. So again, Byakuya still doesn't have any scaling to imply he would be able to at this point 1v1 Yammy, especially in second form. Makes no sense for the scaling whatsoever. You can also consider it this way, that if two hands doing the kendo style for Kenpachi is giving Kenpachi an increase of power like this, Byakuya and Kenpachi fighting in sync would far surpass this feat. Example, Yamamoto believes that Shinzue and Ukitake as a synchronized team have transcendent battle capability, and he puts a lot of specification on this and pretty much implies you two as a team, when you fight together, are basically unstoppable. And he talks about them in a very proud way. Like, he actually finds that an impressive level of power. So, obviously, Miyake and Kenpachi fighting together in sync and using teamwork would make those two a very deadly team, let's be honest. I also want to say this too, and I sort of already did imply it, but Kenpachi can't really be scaled correctly in this arc anyway. There's a lot of really weird inconsistencies with his character, like, having a eye patch on in the army battle, or, we just...
Yeah, like he's wearing it. Take it off! Why are you wearing limiters?
I think it's the only thing that actually makes sense when it comes to the scaling, but narratively, Yammy has the most potential to be the strongest Espada, and can be, but he's just too flawed as a fighter, and I think the biggest mistake that Kubo made when it comes to Yammy was not showing his entire fight in his second release. I seriously would have loved to see the fight itself. Like, the lack of screen time doesn't help convince fans that he truly is the strongest, and a lot of it's pretty much left up to our imagination, so it just sucks. But to give my final answer on Ulqiorra versus Yammy, I mean, Ulqiorra's first release is arguably above Yami's first release, and then his second release, the multiplier, like, we can't even put a number on it, because the way Uryu reacts to it is just ridiculous. Like, he's clearly shocked, like, he's clearly saying this is the strongest thing that he's ever seen, and can you really imagine Yammy surviving the Lanzado or Lampago to his face, especially if Ulqiorra just sat at the other side of Hueco Mundo and just threw like 5 of those at him? I can't imagine Yammy surviving that, but again, what would happen is that Yammy could eventually get strong enough to kill Ulqiorra, so the win condition is this.
Oh,
if
the rage thing.
Yammy wins, but if the battle is slow in any way from the first to second release, Ulqiorra can still be fatal and too fast and have healing to destroy Mr. Yammy. I've said this in videos before, but one of the craziest feats that Ulqiorra has that no one pays attention to is when he's lying on the ground after he gets his insides slashed across by the Vasto Lorde. He's on the ground and the Vasto Lorde steps on his head. And he says, my life has no meaning now, so typical of a hollow to not have mercy, just finish me off. So what he does is Ulqiorra, he's completely turned off his spiritual pressure, he's not defending himself, the Vasto Lorde goes bang with a Cero point blank at his body. Ulqiorra survives this attack,
he takes it.
Generates his body, which, his insides are now gone, so that sucks. But then he's able to Sonito across, cut Vasto Lorde Ichigo's mask off, and man, I don't know, that's a pretty good durability feat, don't you guys think?
Hell yeah, it
obviously
is.
the attack still damaged him, but you gotta consider Yammy doesn't have any Ceros that are as powerful as the Vasto Lorde. That's just something to consider, guys. People really sleep on Ulqiorra's durability. I also want to add 2 little notes here for Yammy, just to make sure that they're actually vocalized in the video. Now, Yammy actually, surprisingly, is pretty fast, because if he can scale directly to Byakuya and Kenpachi, which he does, that means he also scales to Solmari, especially in his release form, where his speed and power does increase, just like all other Espada. He also scares Toshidoa so much in the world of the living that he immediately goes Bankai and highlights that he's not using Gente Kaijo, so yeah, Yami's actually pretty damn strong if he's doing that to even Toshiro. Anyway, guys, this video was proudly brought to you by my good friend Marino. Please kindly check out all of his links below. Without Marino, this video wouldn't have came out as fast as it did, so I want to give a really big thank you for sponsoring it. Seriously awesome. I can't even put into words how supportive he's been. He's seriously the GOAT. There's going to be a lot more videos thanks to him, actually. I've got some really big Bleach projects I'm working on at the moment, so be on the lookout for those videos. But new videos very soon, boys, as I just said. Please go and watch my other Bleach content if you haven't. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. I'm pretty much almost on 200k, 250,000 subscribers, so please subscribe to my channel, like the video, go watch my other Bleach content. I've really worked hard on those videos, guys, but I'd appreciate that very much. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate the continued support as always. The anime is it's not far away, boys. It's not far away. Have a nice day.
Interesting. Yeah, so, Ulqiorra is definitely, well, I say definitely, but it's all, like, loose, but yeah, I don't think Yammy was the strongest. I think the interesting take is that, like, Ulqiorra's number just disappeared. Nell's number never went, even after being discarded, and, Ulqiorra's number just went, and Yammy had the 0, and just not fast. Good video. I'm looking forward to seeing more video. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with Cloud's channel as the anime is going out as well. And I'm going to have to get Disney Plus account. But anyway, thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video I upload, link in the description of the Patreon page. $1 a month is all I still support the channel. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you guys very much for that. And thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe, and leave comments down below. Let me know if I should watch some future videos. I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.